All right, good morning, everybody. Hope you all had a fantastic break, even if you can call it a break. I don't know. We're home, so we're gonna make it. Okay, so we're gonna go on ahead and jump right into our meat science unit. If you remember back, we just stopped our welding unit, so we're gonna move right on into meat science. I know you all haven't had me as a teacher yet, so hate it's not in classroom, but we're gonna enjoy. Okay. So I want you to go on ahead, pause this video, and on that very first question, I want you to write as many types of meat that you can name. Okay, so any type of meat that you can think of, go on ahead, pause this video now, and write those down. Okay, so after you had time to write some down, if you look on here, bunches of different types of meat. Okay, so pork, beef, fish, chicken, etc. There's a whole bunches of different types, okay? And we'll get into a little bit in each, but we're going to really talk about those ones: beef, pork, etc. Okay, so what is meat science? So, this is an actual thing. You can get a degree in this. Pretty cool if you ask me. Okay, but meat science is the study of meat. Okay, so it's going to include production on the farm. We're going to talk about preparation and cooking, and then also preservation of the meat as well. Okay, so meat is from the muscle of an animal. This is a tissue that's on the animal. Okay, if you look down, you can see all the different types of cuts that we have on an animal. But when we think about those market or our meat animals, we want to see a lot of defined muscling. This is where the meat comes from, and that's where our big bucks are going to come. Okay, so there's multiple types of muscle that you can find on a body, but we're going to be focusing more on the skeletal muscle. So that defined muscle that you can think of, like when you show your guns off, that's the kind of muscling we're talking about. Okay, so muscle is made of elongated cells, and those are called muscle fibers. So if I talk about the muscle fibering, just know that those are the elongated cells. I'm hoping to do a dissection video where we talk about the muscle fibers, so stay tuned on that. So this is pretty self-explanatory. Y'all probably know this. I don't have to tell you, but meat is super high in protein. Okay. So those muscle fibers we were talking about, they're made up of what we call contractile proteins. Okay. And that is mostly made of protein. So you want a high protein, go on ahead and get you a steak. Okay, so we've had the debate of red versus white meat. So let's kind of get an understanding on what that is. So on the left, we've got our red meat, which is beef. And then on the right, we've got our white meat, which is going to be our chicken, okay, or types of poultry. So our red meat's going to be our beef, pork, and lamb, and that's going to be a high fat content. Our white that's on the right is going to be much leaner and it's got less of a fat content. So just by looking at these two on the screen, you can tell that. All right. So when we're talking about fat in the red meat, we're going to be talking about marbling. Okay. And that's the amount of flecks of fat in the meat. So when you look at it, that white stuff that's in it, that's the fat. Okay. And that's where meat gets its flavor. Okay. So bunch of different levels of marbling, as you can see on the top. This is the chart that we use. Okay, so we look down at the bottom. This is a piece of Wagyu beef. Okay, so you can see there's a lot of flecking in that, lots of marbling. That's going to be a high flavor meat. Okay, and then you look all the way to the right on that chart. Very slight, not going to be much flavor at all. I would personally like to have a prime steak, but it's all good. Okay, so that's just an intro to our meat science. We're going to dig a lot deeper into this soon. Make sure to answer those post video questions that are at the end. And again, thanks for being so awesome during this. Can't wait to see you in the next one.